Just give her a real good snap. She should go. It's still hot. Never gets old.
When Ed Lachendro was 12 years old, his father, an A&P mechanic, bought an Aeronca Champ project.
Well, that airplane obviously means a lot to me. My dad's name is all through the logbooks. One Sunday morning, he saw in the Washington Post Sunday morning, Aeronca Champ project, $800. And what it was, we had to go to 5 different places to get it. Their wings were in like a loft in a garage in the Sunoco station, and the tail feathers were in Maryland, and it was a project. But as a 12-year-old, I was so excited, you know. And so we spent every Saturday and any other day that we had off scraping paint or repairing whatever, or covering, or whatever you had to do. And if you knew my dad, he was the guy that, when I was a kid, we were always in the basement making balsa wood models. I mean, just carving. And he would do a red pen and then a pencil, and the pencil I had to sand off up to the red part. And eventually we made unbelievable models. But we always had airplanes in the house as a kid. We had a 172 scale airport in our game room. And, you know, I would fly those airplanes around that airport. Not only was I flying that broomstick, but this is before the broomstick. We were flying these 172 models that we built. I probably built a couple dozen Stearmans and then hand-carved PT-19s and whatnot. We went to Oshkosh every summer. That was the family vacation. We didn't go to the beach or anything. We went to Oshkosh. We stayed in the dorms. Then later on, my friends would come with me, and we'd go hang out at the dorms, and it was our summer.
After high school, Ed joined the U.S. Army and was trained as a Chinook helicopter mechanic.
If I really wanted to reach the goals that it wasn't going to be wrenching. It was going to have to be maybe through flying or something, more advanced. So I really wanted to fly. It didn't really matter. It didn't really have to be the airlines. But I loved it too much, and that love has never left me. Just last night, I'm flying back and going, it never gets old, and you never get enough.
Ed graduated from Penn State University and was hired to manage a small airport in Connecticut. He earned his air transport pilot rating in 1987 and flew as a charter pilot before joining New England Airlines as a pilot. Eventually, he joined USAir, earning type ratings in the Boeing 737, 757, and 767, among others.
If there's one thing I could say, that I'm not the typical airline pilot in that I didn't, the airlines was just a means to end, I would be the guy flying over the Rockies at 35,000 feet going, God, I wish I was flying my Cub right there,
Long before the Young Eagles program was created, Ed's father and his Aeronca Champ planted the seed of the idea.
I spent just about every Saturday at Fredericksburg and Shannon Airport, and I couldn't wait to get there every week. That was, you know how it is. It was like Christmas every Saturday. And I would sit on the end of the runway, the grass runway, with my dad, and I would recruit people. That person we talk about that's at the fence, watching airplanes. I'd walk up to him and say, hey, my dad will take you flying. And he would. And he told me, he says, if you can't share it, then why have it? And so the whole thing with Young Eagles was nothing but that.
Ed has lived in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin since 1991. In 1992, he was working at home as a technical writer and volunteering at EAA, flying at Pioneer Airport.
I'd gotten wind that there was talk amongst the executives that they really wanted to get kids involved, youth involved in EAA. They were looking at their membership, their aging membership. And so I wrote Tom Poberizny a letter and said, Tom, the best way to get kids involved is give them a ride. The next day, I got this call from this secretary of Greg Anderson. I'm like, who's Greg Anderson? Okay. And so I figured they wanted to talk about this letter that I sent to Tom. And so I show up and we start talking. 5 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, this is a job interview. It's like, okay, tell me what you're thinking. And that really was the impetus. That's what started my journey with Young Eagles.
A few months later, Ed took a leave from U.S. Airways to work for EAA, launching the Young Eagles program.
It is EAA's membership goal to get 1 million kids an airplane ride starting today at Oshkosh 92. You ready? Yep.
So we make the announcement in D.C., Cliff Robertson there. It's a big deal. And they're going to fly 1 million kids by the 100th anniversary of the Wright brothers in 2003. And we're going to fly 1 million kids. And like, come on, everybody's like, yeah, right, okay. And it didn't matter. The idea was that we wanted to get the kid that was sitting on the fence that was watching airplanes take off and land or bugging his mom and dad to take them to the airport and show them how the aviation community really helps their community. And so Young Eagles was truly magical in that you never know when you launch something like that how people are going to take to it. But the response was just unbelievably amazing. And look at it, look at it today. It's just wonderful.
Ed was executive director of the Young Eagles program from 1992 to 1995. A few years later, he was in Washington, D.C., working for the government.
So here I am, long distance from EAA and Young Eagles, that's behind me, and I get this call in the evening in my apartment in Crystal City, and it's Tom Poberizny. He says, Ed, we did it. And I'm like, we did what, Tom? He says, we flew our 1 millionth kid today, and that was way before December of 2003.
Now in retirement, Ed wanted to check off one more item on his bucket list.
I always wanted to learn how to soar. And so the first goal coming out of retirement, it was, getting my glider rating. I had started towing with the Pawnee for the club, and I was paired up with 3 other professional pilots. And so we all worked together that summer and got our ratings in October. It was good fun. It's hard to put into words how a young boy from Virginia would come to Wisconsin in Oshkosh of 72. And it was my dad's big thing. He used to call it his Christmas. And he'd been coming to Rockford. And so finally, it was my turn in 72 as a 12-year-old to come. And Wisconsin changed me. It changed me in a lot of ways. And this older gentleman walked up and we had bib overalls, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and and he goes, "Son, you're in God's country." And that always kind of stayed with me. Yeah, it's like, I've been to all 50 states, and people will ask me, "What's your favorite?" I say, Wisconsin.